Why are you a Republican?
Well, you want to break some news here?
Sure.
It's in my, I've told this before. This is the only time I've ever said this, so this is breaking news. Everyone's going to freak out. When I was a hated reality star, I got so many death threats. I had so much security and police, and what did they tell me to do? Get a gun. This is real. I know people don't like guns, but LA was dangerous if you're hated. So I got a gun. My wife got a gun. And then we needed CCWs. The only people that supported a CCW was the Republican. That was what I aligned with, my safety, my personal safety, my family's safety. I know people don't like guns, but when people are threatening your life and your own security is telling you you need to have home protection, train to, it's not like just I went to the, go through the proper steps. That was that's it.
And that was it. And you felt like that party was more pro Second Amendment.
And I know that's a very hot button, but here's the thing. I'm also going to be the mayor that puts LAPD in front of every school to make schools safe from guns. Right now we have
officers to do that?
I talked to a very knowledgeable law enforcement. All you have to do is pick one patrol unit and you give them a nice pin that connects to that school, and that's their street. So they add that one. So that's already part of mine, just because obviously I know people don't like guns and we need to make everything, especially schools, safe. But that is where I connect to. And once you feel fear and it's real, you want to protect your family. So
there's a moment in this CNN interview that tells you everything. The reporter asks Spencer Pratt a simple question: why are you a Republican? And the moment he hears the answer, you can see it on his face. He's stunned, not because Pratt said something crazy. He's stunned because Pratt answered the question the way normal people actually answer questions, instead of the way the media expects politicians to answer them. That's what we're breaking down today, because this answer exposes something real about how people think when they're not performing for cameras. And if you got a family and you're trying to protect, if you got a home you're trying to keep safe, you need to see this. So let's be clear about what was happening in that interview. The CNN reporter wasn't asking a real question. We were setting up a trap. The trap works like this. You ask someone, why are you a Republican? And they forced to either say the party line or get attacked for whatever answer they give. They think they got you. Either you are a MAGA or you are Trump, or you're some label they can put on you and then dismiss you. And the media loves this because once they get you in a box, they think they control the conversation. But Pratt didn't fall for it, and that's the key moment.
A unique figure, but you've studied politics. You've got a degree in politics from USC. Fight on that.
Everyone wants me to do that in photos now. I'm like, okay.
Who is your political role model?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I mean, that's what.
He was a politician. He had to, he had to go in and.
Are there any modern politicians that you're especially studying or drawn to?
No, I'm not a politician. I don't want to be a politician. I want to be a fighter for the people.
But you've mentioned though that
Obama. I'm most similar to Obama.
Okay.
And I know the View lady said I don't have a law degree, so I'm going to work on that online in the next before November. I probably can get one. Do the baby bar.
But as you've pointed out, that as mayor, you need a lot of advisors and help because it's a giant job in a giant city, and you don't have as much managerial experience of a city. And you've said that you've talked with a lot of different potential advisors who are willing to come on board with you, but don't want to say so publicly because of fears about their own safety. Is there anybody, though, that names that you can give us, or the type of people that you're talking to get a better sense of what a Pratt administration would actually look like?
Well, first, let's rewind to what Mayor Bass's past experience running a city when she got elected.
Right.
All she ever did was name a post office. So this idea that she came from...
She had been the Speaker of the Assembly, she had run the Community Coalition, and she had been a Congress member and chair of the Congressional Black Caucus.
None of that connects to managing.
Right, she'd never run a city.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So if we're doing like, who knows how to yell at the LADWP for having 2 reservoirs empty, I'm going to be better at that than she clearly is.
Yeah.
So instead of answering with party talking points, he answered with his actual life. He's exactly what he said. When I was a hatred reality star, I got so many death threats. I had so much security and police, and what did they tell me to do? Get a gun. He didn't dress it up. He he didn't make it political. He just said what happened. His wife needed protection too, so she got a gun. They went through the proper steps. They got trained. They got their licenses, and then he said the part that should wake people up. I quote: "The only people that supported a CCW was the Republican. That was what I was aligned with: my safety, my personal safety, and my family safety. That's it. No ideology, no politics, life, real danger, family safety." So when you watch how the reporter responds, he's confused and he's waiting for him to explain why the Republican Party is better or why he believes in conservative principles or something he can argue against, but he didn't say any of that. He just said it. He needed to protect his wife. And now the reporter doesn't know what to do. And this is what the media can't process. They built their entire system around forcing people to fit into political boxes, left or right, Democrat or Republican, MAGA or anti-Trump. And once you're in a box, they can predict what you'll say and what you'll believe. But when someone shows up and makes a decision based on their actual life, based on what keeps their family safe, the entire system breaks, because you can't attack someone for wanting to protect their home. You can't gaslight them into a political label when they're thinking about their wife's safety. That's the real power of this moment. It's not that Pratt is a Republican, it's that he's thinking for himself. Now, let's go deeper into what he actually said, because this is where the common sense part gets really clear. Pratt didn't say he supports the Second Amendment because of the Constitution. He didn't quote the founders. He didn't make an argument about tyranny or government overreach. He said, my wife needed protection, so she got a gun. That's common sense. That's how regular people think about this issue. No theory, no political philosophy, just I was getting death threats. My security team told me to arm myself. I did. My wife did. We followed the law. We got trained. Done. He faced real danger, real death threats. His security team, the professionals whose job is to keep him safe, told him to arm himself and his wife, so they did. They went through the proper steps. They got trained. They got their licenses. They followed the law. And here's the part that the media doesn't want you to think about. When they tried to get the permits to carry, which party supported that right? Republicans. Which party opposed it? Democrats. So Pratt didn't become a Republican because he read a manifesto or or decided he liked tax policy. He became a Republican because when his family was in danger, only one party said he had the right to protect them. That's not ideology. That's basic survival. And that's what your life looks like when you have to make a real decision instead of just talking about them. And then he extends to this to the whole city. He says schools, as you guys heard, need armed protection, not because it's a Republican idea, quote unquote, because kids need to be safe. Right now, today, the reporter tries to make this sound radical, but he's just describing common sense. If your school needed protection, you'll want someone there who actually stopped the threat. You wouldn't care if that person was Republican or Democrat. You'll just want your kid to come home safe. He talks about putting LAPD in front of schools. The reporter acts like this is some crazy partisan proposal. And if you listen to how he actually puts it, I quote the reporter, I'm also going to put the mayor. No, sorry, family. Spencer Pratt, I quote. He said, I'm also going to be the mayor that puts LAPD in front of every school that makes schools safe from guns. All you have to do is pick one patrol unit and you give them a pin and that connects it to the school. That's their street. It's specific. It's practical. It's not an idea. It's a plan. And then he makes the comparison that makes everything clear. He says, quote, Spencer Pratt says, look at Beverly Hills. This isn't happening in Beverly Hills. You can go have a dinner there. The reporter asks why, and he answers, because they enforce their laws. That's not politics. That's accountability. One city decided to keep its streets safe and the other city didn't. The results speak for themselves. Beverly Hills residents don't have tents everywhere. LA does. That's not luck. That's choices. And this is where his answer reveals something bigger than just guns or police. This is about a fundamental choice. Okay, family? So now I want you guys to check out this clip.
When you talked to Jake Tapper in 2023, you said that your goal was to end street homelessness in LA by 2026. It's now 2026.
And we haven't ended it.
We have not ended it, and we're not close to ending it. How are you so off?
Well, basically, when I said that, it was at the beginning of my term. I am very committed to achieving that goal. I didn't anticipate some of the bureaucratic barriers that I would experience, but I am prepared to take those on now. And let me just give you an example. Los Angeles made a decision probably 20, 25 years ago to not address street homelessness, to focus solely on building. And granted, I have fast-tracked 42,000 units of affordable housing, but it still takes a couple of years. So basically the policy of LA City and LA County was we could accept street homelessness as long as we were building. We didn't anticipate the problem metastasizing. In my 3.5 years, for the first time, 2 years in a row, street homelessness has decreased in our city. There hadn't been a decrease before. That is a quality of life issue that impacts all Angelenos. Whether you are unhoused or whether you run a business and your business can't function because there's tents outside, whether you're a parent that's trying to navigate through tents to get to school, or whether it's residents where it has decreased the quality of life. So this is a problem that all Angelenos experience, and we have got to have a commitment that this has to end. The city and the county never made that commitment before, and I found something that surprised me. I found a lot of people who work internal in the system who were very resistant to ending street homelessness.
But you promised that it would go away 100%, and it's only gone down about 17.6%.
Right.
So why should people trust you that you're going to be able to get to the 100%?
Because let me just tell you, for the first time, we've had a decrease at all. There was not a decrease before at all because there was no commitment to get rid of street encampments. And we had encampments all over the city. So I would ask for people's trust in the sense that we have absolutely made progress. We know what we need to do now to end street homelessness. We need to end the failed policies of the past, which is all we're going to do is focus on building, and we are going to ignore street homelessness. That is what the city and the county has done for years, ignored street homelessness.
What is one word that separates you from the other candidates for mayor?
Experience, collaboration. I'm sorry, I had to throw in another. but let me just say, though,
anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to say, I can't emphasize enough how I have benefited from serving in Congress and in the State House, and that there are multiple examples we don't have time to talk about now that I've had to change federal regulations, federal law, and state law, and I can do that because I know how these institutions work. And you cannot run the nation's second largest city without intimate knowledge, long-standing relationships, and collaboration on every level of government. I have that based on my work over the years, and that is what we're going to need to have at our disposal in moving our city forward.
A lot of people in this city that like you, that respect you, that voted for you, but they're frustrated. They feel like there hasn't been enough change fast enough in the city, and they're not sure if you're up to the task to take it to the next level. What do you say to those people?
Well, what I say is that we have absolutely made progress. I'm frustrated that it hasn't been more. I still will fight for change every single day I'm in this office.
So, then a reporter asks another question, right? He asks, who is his political role model? And Pratt says, Jesus Christ. You guys heard that in the clips further back. When you watch the reporter's face, he's searching for the angle. He's thinking, okay, he's going to quote Jesus to justify some Republican policy. But that's not what happens. Pratt says Jesus was a leader. The reporter even asks about it, and he says directly, quote, Jesus Christ, he was a politician. He had to go in. But he's not talking about Jesus as a party member or an ideologue. He's talking about Jesus as someone who cared about people, not power. Jesus cared about the sick, the poor, the forgotten. He didn't get involved in politics to gain influence or win arguments. He got involved to serve. And that distinction matters. It's the core difference between someone who wants a title and someone who wants to fix things. For those who are Christian or non-Christian, that's why I laid out those two distinctions. This is where Pratt makes the real statement. When a reporter asks about modern politicians, he admires. He cuts through it. I don't want to be a politician. I want to be a fighter for the people. And you can feel the difference when he says it. He's not performing. He's not reaching for talking points. He's describing something he actually believes about how to live. A politician wants power. A fighter for the people wants the problem solved. Those are two different animals. The media can't trap faith-based reasoning the way they trap ideology, because ideology is about winning arguments. Faith is about living by a standard that's bigger than you. When you base your choices on faith and family, the gotcha questions stop working. You're not defending a political question or a little political position. You're defending the people you love. And this reveals the real divide running through everything we've been talking about. Because on one side, you got people who got into leadership because they want power, influence, and control. On the other side, you got people who got into it because something broke in their community and they couldn't ignore it. Pratt is surging in the polls because he sounds like someone who is trying to fix his neighborhood, not someone playing a game for cameras. LA residents are exhausted. They don't need a better politician. They need someone who actually gives, who cares? I'm not going to say the word, no profanity. But look at how he talks about homelessness. He doesn't make it an ideological argument. He says directly, we don't have a homelessness crisis. We have a drug addiction and mental health crisis because of super meth and fentanyl, which creates mental health crisis with psychosis mindset. He's specific about the actual problem. Then he says what every functioning city does. Quote, we just need to enforce all the laws that are on the books. He runs through the facts. Quote, he says, it's illegal to be naked in front of the kids. It's illegal to be pleasuring yourself in front of kids. And it's illegal to be shooting up in front of kids. It's illegal to be smoking in front of kids. And it's illegal to steal. It's illegal to defecate in the street. Right? These aren't new laws. They already exist.
Be litigated in court. In terms of the other big issue in the city is homelessness. From a policy perspective, what changes with you in charge?
So I keep countering this, obviously. For me, we don't have a homelessness crisis. We have a drug addiction and mental health crisis because of, I call it super meth. The LA Times likes to call it super pure meth. So super pure meth and fentanyl, which creates mental health crisis with psychosis. So the DEA says LA 93% is drug addiction. So as mayor, I keep telling everybody, we just need to enforce all the laws that are on the books. And today, the LA Times countered, it's going to be very hard for Spencer to enforce the law because these city council members want to keep the encampments in front of schools and parks and daycares. Well, what these people forget is in these encampments, it's illegal to be naked in front of kids. It's illegal to be pleasuring yourself in front of kids. It's illegal to be shooting up in front of kids. It's illegal to be smoking in front of kids. It's illegal to be naked. It's illegal to steal all the stuff they're doing. It's illegal to defecate in the street. It's illegal to pee. There is plenty of things as mayor I'll be able to enforce laws. And again,
so does that mean that you're sending the LAPD into encampments, or what does that look like?
That's not in there. There's no more encampments. They've taken over the streets.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that LAPD can do their job. Right now, they can't enforce any laws. So it's not this idea we need to go into encampments. They're on everyone's streets. They're walking in. They're getting hit by cars left and right because they're just walking naked in front of the street.
So if that happens, then is it an LAPD officer that goes and arrests them? Is that the process?
Here's what people hear the word arrest and they think, oh my God, Spencer's going to try to put all the homeless people in jail. No, these people need medical treatment, not what Nithya and Karen Bass are talking about.
And where do they go for that?
Mayor, we have many facilities. Once you get arrested, you go to a court system and they say, oh, this person wasn't a violent criminal. Were under the influence of super pure meth, banging their head into somebody's car window. They clearly need medical treatment. We have a society that's built with structure. I don't invent this. This already is here. They just don't do this because they have the right to experience drug addiction and die 7 people on the street every day. No, I'm actually the compassionate one running here. I'm saying we're going to get these people help and not just say, oh, they need a bed. We're going to have beds for them that they're going to actually be able to sleep in, not going through withdrawals and needing to be on fentanyl or super pure meth. The problem with the whole system is they're all connected to Social Security numbers. So Medicaid, people think, oh, it's just the feds, the state, the city. There's so many people profiting off of these people just living in misery and dying. And I'm going to be the one saying, We are not letting that. So yes, if you're torturing and abusing animals, that's jail. If you're pleasuring yourself in front of kids, which all day long, parents are messaging me the craziest videos and photos that I can't post because my accounts will get deleted, you will go to jail. And in jail, maybe you end up getting sober and you have a chance to come back into society. But if you come out and you do that again, you'll go back to jail. We need to be a society of laws that we have. I don't want to add one law. We have plenty of laws that functioning cities enforce. Look at Beverly Hills. This isn't happening in Beverly Hills. You can go have dinner there.
Why do you think that is?
Because they enforce their laws.
Yeah.
There's plenty of cities around LA that these criminals know that it's like, I talk to firefighters and police, they literally can like jump over the border, like, I can do anything here? Oh, over here, they have laws. Over here, LA City, you can do whatever you want. And we need to make sure everyone knows LA City is a city of laws to keep everyone safe, to keep the people that are dying on the sidewalk safe. Yeah. Stop letting them. We're paying over $1 million for needles right now in MacArthur Park. I have a text from Norm at Langer's Deli just asking me to come there Saturday, and he said she lied on the debate. He said after she said I'm not for that, he says they're giving out needles 4 times a day. It doesn't make sense because in my town, when tragically Matthew Perry passed of a drug overdose, what happened to his dealer? We went after his dealer. That dealer goes to prison. We have 7 people dying every day. We're the ones paying with our tax money to give them needles, tourniquets, even alcohol wipes. But those people don't go to jail. These city people that are taking our money to kill people, to kill animals, because these people are on drugs and then harming the animals. So everything I'm saying is common sense. We've just lost it in Los Angeles.
But one of the criticisms has been that they say that there aren't enough beds to take people to for mental health treatment. There aren't enough beds to take people that are homeless just for shelter. Are you building more beds?
These are the biggest liars on planet Earth. So anything they're saying, they will also tell you that, oh, we have $400 million and we treated 1,400 people. They don't know where these people are. They don't know the people who leave. These beds that they say they buy, they don't even care if we pay $800,000 a bed. There's no expectations of these NGO providers to put somebody in it. There's no accounting. The own audits of Shangri-La and Weingart, all these, they're all failing their audits. All their money's getting paused. It's just a free-for-all.
So you guys heard it. These aren't new laws. They already exist. Beverly Hills enforces them. LA doesn't. That's not a Democratic problem or a Democrat problem or a Republican problem. That's an accountability problem. Some city leaders decided to let chaos happen. Why? Because, and this is the party nobody wants to say, there are people making money off the chaos. Nonprofits, contractors, government officials, when the problem gets fixed, the money dries up, so the problem never gets fixed. That's the kind of clarity that comes from thinking about your own home. If someone was destroying your neighborhood and profiting from it, you wouldn't debate policy. You wouldn't write op-eds. You'll stop it. You'll enforce the rules that already exist. You'll protect your family. And that's exactly what Pratt is saying. Not from a theory, from life. From watching what happens when you let chaos happen. From knowing what happens when you enforce the law, like Beverly Hills does, versus when you don't, like LA has done for years. And that's why the media is speechless, because Pratt has answered the question in a way that escapes every trap they set. And here's what you need to know. Your personal safety and your family's peace come before any political party, any party. If a politician tells you to choose ideology over protecting what's yours, they're not fighting for you, they're using you. Don't let the media's labels confuse what you're actually seeing. When someone makes a decision based on what protects their home instead of what sounds good on cable news, that's someone thinking for themselves. That's uncommon. Notice it. Learn from it. Common sense isn't Republican. It isn't Democrat. It's just common sense. Share this with your people around you. Subscribe if you want more breakdowns like this. And remember, your family comes first always. Spread that peace, love, and positivity. Let the love supersede the hate. And as always, family, we having a conversation. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.